everybody. Welcome to Epic Time. It is 8:03 at 9:30 in the morning. So this is day 2. I'm just put the title on so people could follow along with what's going on. I just got to share this real quick because people are asking me about some updates. So I decided that we'll give them an update, even though this is not the scheduled time that I was going to do it. We're doing a regular show at noon and doing a show at noon and 7, obviously, but we are also going to do a show just quick here to touch on some things that happened last night. So I'll get right to it. And if you happen to notice I have the same shirt on, it's not because I'm a bum and slept in my clothes. It's because I'm a bum and can't get to my clothes. So anyhow, I'm driving, so it's fairly clean. So anyways, I want to click on this. We're going to share this. Let's see. All right, here we go. Last night, it was action-packed. I went after our show ended. I shared some things, but this is group 1. These are the people out in front. These are the main group right here, stretching all the way back. But I wanted to show you something here because it's kind of funny. And you can talk about it now because everybody's in it. You're not giving any tips or anything. But last night I didn't want to bring it up because I like the idea that people figure stuff out on their own. But this stretch right here, this is the UP of Michigan. Let me zoom out so you understand what we're talking about. There's Lake Superior right there. This wraps around, the UP of Michigan wraps around. This is the highest point up here in Michigan. Well, last night, the directions in Hokahay fashion were really tricky and really entertaining to watch. And I know I'm making you sick by zooming in and out, but I want to show everybody what happens here. Right here, this little stretch, their directions told them take 26 to 41 south at X amount of miles. Well, right here is 26. Right here is 41. A bunch of riders took 41 south, but they took it at 50 miles before the directions told them to take it. And they thought the directions must be wrong. Well, guess what? The directions weren't wrong. You had to cross that little bridge, stay on 26, and roll on up like everybody else did here. Take a 26 up, and then you got to take 41. You're going to be crossing people, and then you got to stay on 26 to 41. Follow the waterway. Follow this waterway way up here, staying on 26, and look at that. Here is 41 again, heading south. So that's how directions work. You got to be careful about what you think you know and what you assume you know. You talk about, you're looking at them, well, here's 41 south, got to be it. You got to pay attention to detail and stay mentally sharp. And it was pretty funny. And a couple of my riders and best friends caught that last night when the miles down the road then weren't adding up. Okay, now we're on 41 south, but man, my next turn is right here, and it should be 100 miles, but it's here at 50. I don't know, maybe that's right. So they keep going on it, and it's just the domino effect, and you hit the first domino, and now you're going to pay. But they caught it, and the people I'm talking about are Iceman and Teeter, and they were way ahead, and they were over here when they realized that those miles weren't adding up. All the way back to where they made the wrong turn, all the way up to the top of the state, all the way back down, just to get back to where they were early last night. Instead, they're getting there early this morning. So it's pretty rough, and you look, this is no joke area up here. All these riders slept somewhere that's crappy, cold, animals galore. I didn't hear anybody get chased by any bears, so it was a little disappointing. I was hoping somebody would have a little bear run in and mess their pants as they took off running. Here, look at all these riders. Marky Mark's coming across the Mackinac Bridge right now. We got Teeter coming across, and that is a right now Teeter's view. I don't know if they're going to show it to you when you click on it. That's the bridge itself. There's the steel grate that you can look down and see the ships underneath you. It's super cool. But I wish you could look to the right and the left. Maybe you can. I just don't know what I'm doing. But it's really cool. I mean, if you ever get a chance to get up there, if you ever get a chance to go on any of these roads, screenshot these riders where they're riding, and you'll know that it's super, super badass roads. So even if you don't get a chance to go there today, tomorrow, whatever, mark it on your map and do that. Sorry, my truck was going to shut off because they got these stupid safety features that make you but Marky Mark is there. There's a beautiful park right here in Mackinac City, right here. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's an awesome place. But this is really what I wanted just to showcase. There's a bunch of riders. I'm not naming names because it's not my job, but there's a bunch of riders that may be on your screen right here that didn't do it right. There's a bunch of riders that made the same mistakes that Iceman and Teeter made and never went back for it. And I got a little hint for anybody that's following along or riding. If all of a sudden you find yourself somebody caught up to you or you pass somebody, you might want to think about what you did or what they did. Because if somebody's hours behind you and all of a sudden they're right behind you, you may have made a mistake, or they made a mistake. So if all of a sudden you catch up to somebody that you were hours and hours behind, you might want to evaluate your choices because you're not catching up to people magically in a day. If you're hours behind, that's days of catching up. That's not, short time. So I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So, there's a lot going on. But when people look at their routes, when they get their route evaluated at the end of this, they may be up here super high and all excited, and then they're going to get a gentle reminder that back on day one, you didn't do something that needed to be done. And that's the difference between somebody being a finisher and somebody being shit. And it's much easier to embrace the suck. Even if you're right here, like if somebody, I'm going to pick somebody that I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea about Fish Bum. I don't even know who that is, but I'll just use that name. Say Fish Bum knows that he made the same mistake Iceman made. He doesn't have to reroute everything he's already done. He's already done that. He doesn't have to reroute it. He doesn't got to backtrack on the same thing. He can just haul ass on US 2 because that is really fast. Jump over here on 141 and go right up to where he made that mistake. Ride that loop if that's what he's got to do, and then continue on, and he's good. And then he just continues on the directions, and he's going to be doing things he already did. That's fine. It's no problem. You're back on it, but you're back on track, and you're a legit rider. Right now, there's a bunch of people riding this that they're riding now summer tour because they have not done the route. Now they're on a summer tour and they're going to get done and they're going to be highly disappointed because of something that happened on day one. 14 days from now, they're not even going to remember that section of the road that they didn't do. Our other group down here is really cracking me up because this is awesome to watch. Here we got Yas, Nicholson, and English. And you got to remember, they know they're going to Mississippi. And now they're finding themselves in Texas, not East Texas. They're heading to West Texas. This is some hot country down here. Not a lot to see. Let's see what Yas is looking at right now. He's looking at the back of somebody's bike. That's awesome. How about a picture where you're at? There you go. You see, that's pretty desolate there. You want to know the difference between group 1 and group 2? Click on some of these riders and look at it and be like, this is what group 1 is seeing. It's all, I wouldn't say mountainous, but there's some hills up there, the Great Lakes. It's cold. You got a cool breeze coming off the water, looking over Mackinac Bridge. It's like, oh man, look at this beautiful scenery. And then you got these guys rolling through West Texas, looking at, nothing but brown grass, blazing sun. So they are definitely fighting two animals that are not the same. And I got to give it up right now to English rider number 11113. He happens to be a friend of mine, and I've been watching him. I've been talking about him a little bit. He is absolutely destroying it. He is coming up from way back. He really had to fight his way back. He was literally, I don't know if he's the last guy in this pack, but the last 10 when they took off. So he's passed this many people, and following along. There's Jug, one of our monsters. He decided to take a tour down the wrong side of the river, had to go back, had to make all that up. And, now he's in the upper half of the pack. Here's Hyde, another one of our monsters that are riding for us, who did the same thing, made a little mistake, then had to crank it around and got it figured out. There is Loco, another monster who had to fight through getting a ticket that he actually caught on tape. So that was kind of funny. He got a warning. These guys you can get all the warnings you want. You can get warnings. You can get a warning for doing 60 and a 55, 65, whatever you're doing. You can get warnings, no problem. You get a ticket, peace out. You are not a finisher. You can ride your ride and you're good. And I'm really happy to see they got Chrisman's tracker working. Yesterday we saw him way back. Chrisman has ridden all of the rides, all of the Hokahays. Imagine that. My wife's calling me when I'm doing a show. And he's done them all. And I have mad respect for him because he has done them all. And he has done them all in a fashion to whoop ass. Not to take any of them as I've done the last 8, 10, whatever. Even if he did 4, I've done 4. And I'm just going to take pictures and enjoy myself. He has never done that. He has always given it his all, and he's always up there destroying it. So, he's another fun one to watch. There we got Gopher here, another one of our monster riders. Got Beastman here. A lot of fun riders, but I'm not going to stay on here all day talking about this, but there's some riders here that have done some foo-bars and really made some mistakes that going to come back and then haunt them a little bit. So, my advice to everybody is pay attention to what you're doing and also pay attention to what happened and how it happened. If you find yourself all of a sudden catching up to a group that you were 5 hours behind, if you're 5 hours behind a group, rough estimate, and all of a sudden you find yourself a half hour behind or passing them, I got a news flash for you. It's not because you stopped and got a Mountain Dew and took some magic potion of ass whooping. You didn't get magic. Nothing magic happened. You're still you, and you're not making up 5 hours on somebody, so you did something wrong. You can assume that you missed a major chunk of the ride if all of a sudden you wake up in the lead and you were 4 hours behind before that. Like, I don't know, like go out on a limb and say your skills didn't improve that much. Your motorcycle didn't go from a 107 or a 114 cubic inch motor to a 714 cubic inch where now you're traveling at light speed to make that up. It just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't happen. So for that to be the case, if you find yourself jumping up, man, just do a little common sense math and be like, oh shit, did I miss something? Because finishing the ride is way more important. It's better to finish the damn ride in last place than not finish in first place. If that makes sense. You cross that line and you're in first place to be told that you missed 400 miles of the ride, or 100 miles, or 20 miles. You know, if you missed 20 miles this ride, you missed 20 miles. You didn't do the same ride. You missed it. Sorry. Now you got to embrace a major suck. Now it's this much suck. At the end of it, it's that much suck. It really sucks. So fix it now, even if it costs you a full day. Hear me again, man. If it costs you a full day of riding, that's still better than not being able to do it at all. You know, and again, like one of these riders right here, if English realized he missed something right here where you know, Jug is at. You know, let's say he goes, oh shit, man, broken bow, I missed that. I don't know even what's here, but if I missed a 15-mile section and shit, he can just jump on this 82 right here, rip over to Paris, stop, get a nice picture at the statue or the Eiffel Tower they got there, and then rip over, do that section, and then continue on from there, and he'll wrap it up. You know, yeah, he missed a lot of time, but he doesn't have to backtrack all the way and get to that and do that. It'd be a little bit sketchy if you went back and did that and then rip back to over here. You know, I go back and I get to where I made a mistake, and then you continue on from there on the route, not zipping kitty corner, but you can go back to where you made the mistake any way you want. And that's pretty cool, but I would rather miss a full day of riding. I can't even tell people enough. Miss a full day of riding than be embarrassed at the end and find out you didn't do it. And they have to tell everybody like that's cheering you on. Yay, 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 man. Good job, good job. Oh, man, well, I really didn't do that. Back on day one, I missed it. You know, and people will bitch and say, oh, the directions were messed up. The directions this, the directions that. The directions are supposed to be messed up. It's a challenge. You know, if it was a summer tour, the directions would be perfect and you'd be on the interstate a lot and you'd go off and go see a little site on the side of the road and be like, oh, let's get some pictures. This is the world's toughest motorcycle challenge. And this is why you have to navigate these roads. You have to find your way through these roads, and you have to stay mentally alert for all things: the speed limit, the signs, the turns, what you're doing, you know, what you're doing in case you, you know, like right here, there's people, I would assume somebody did missing a turn, you know, now they're going back to it. You catch that. If your route doesn't have some spurs in it, when you look at your route at the end of this, they don't have some spurs in it where the route goes this way and then you just have a line that goes off to the side, I would have to say you're not doing something right. Somebody's feeding you info, or you're looking at a GPS while you're doing it, so you make sure you don't make any mistakes, because part of the challenge is you're going to do just what you're looking at right there where a Jug went down. Just 5 miles, you realize like, oh shit, we missed something. You go back. I missed turns because I was starving, and I would look to the left because there was a McDonald's, and I'm like, man, I am hungry. And I'm looking at McDonald's like, gosh, should I just swing in and grab some nuggets? No, I'm not going to do it. And I go by. But the road I was supposed to be looking for was on the right. And I just pulled the jackass move, let my stomach override my eyes and steer me in the wrong direction. And a road runner, a friend of mine who is not riding, a different road runner that is here, we rode, we were hungry. We stopped at a burger place in Texas, like an In-N-Out or something, banged in there. We left that parking lot and went right. We should have left the parking lot. We missed our turn because we ate. We went 40 miles the wrong way. So it happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. So there's a lot of it. So I just want to hit on that. There's some people really embracing the suck, you know, up here. Iceman, Teeter, two of my best friends, they went way out of their way and they're rebounding, they're coming back. But at the end of the day, they can hold their head high. They're doing it with integrity and they're doing it right. And they went back and they fixed it. And yeah, it sucks, but they embraced the suck. They even stopped and got a good night's sleep to regroup. So my hat's off to those guys. Hats off to all these competitors really navigating an old school route that I think is super badass. So that's it. I'll see you guys at noon and we'll get more in detail. All right. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll change clothes by the next one. So this is not my video shirt. This is my driving shirt. Peace.